In today's show, bombers in the Caribbean, a canceled Trump-Putin meeting, and a turkey shortage just in time for Thanksgiving. Plus, Bible sales are surging. Police stop a potential mass shooting at Atlanta's airport, and Elon Musk's X is about to start selling usernames. And here's the trivia question. Where did the lunar rock Amarkalite get its name? It's Wednesday, October 22nd. This is the Flyover Podcast. Welcome to the Flyover Podcast, taking you above the noise for an unbiased, high-altitude view of today's headlines with daily coverage that's honest and refreshing. Let's cruise the news and land the facts. Hello and welcome back to the Flyover Podcast. Apologies on the audio-only episode yesterday. Our editing and recording programs were also affected by the Amazon Web Services outage, but we're back in action and I'm so glad that you are with us today. We've got a great show lined up, so let's take off with today's biggest headlines. The U.S. is flexing its military muscle in the Caribbean with its largest buildup in decades. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the new Counter-Narcotics Joint Task Force will coordinate air, sea, and special ops missions targeting drug traffickers operating near Venezuela. The operation includes B-52 bombers, Marine F-35 fighter jets, Navy warships, and even a nuclear sub, with about 10,000 American troops now in the region. So far, they've carried out 7 strikes on suspected drug boats. Analysts say this new show of force is a modern-day version of gunboat diplomacy, sending a clear message to Venezuela's dictator Nicolas Maduro and any state-linked cartels. The White House has hit pause on a proposed summit between President Trump and Vladimir Putin that was supposed to take place in Budapest, Hungary. Officials now say there are no plans for the meeting anytime soon after a tense call between U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov failed to resolve differences. Lavrov still insists that Moscow wants to, quote, eliminate the root causes of the conflict, which most take as code for maintaining control in Ukraine. Meanwhile, President Zelensky of Ukraine says even the threat of the U.S. sending long-range Tomahawk missiles has put pressure on Russia, hinting that America's military leverage may be what's keeping peace talks alive. We've linked the entire article in today's show notes for you to read more. And with Thanksgiving just around the corner, there are growing fears of a turkey shortage. The nation's turkey flock is now at its smallest in 40 years thanks to an outbreak of avian flu that's already affected more than 500,000 birds this month, most of them in Minnesota. Wholesale prices are up 40% from last year, and while companies like Butterball say there will still be plenty of frozen birds, shoppers may have a hard time finding fresh or certain size turkeys. So if you've got a favorite size or brand, you might want to grab it early this year. Here are your top political headlines. The Trump administration has reached a new deal with the American Federation of Teachers that could cancel student debt for millions of borrowers who've consistently made their payments. The agreement, which builds on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, is expected to speed up relief for teachers, nurses, and other public service workers, and ensure they won't face surprise tax bills when their loans are wiped out. More on this in today's show notes. Senator John Fetterman made headlines this week after saying he'd break his own party's traditional stance and side with Republicans in using what's called the nuclear option to temporarily remove the Senate filibuster. The nuclear option in the Senate is a procedural move that lets lawmakers change the chamber's rules, usually to eliminate the 60-vote filibuster threshold, with just a simple majority of 51 votes. Chris Mays, Arizona's Attorney General, has filed a federal lawsuit against House Speaker Mike Johnson to force him to seat newly elected Democrat Adelita Grijalva in the U.S. House of Representatives, an extraordinary move after Johnson has refused to administer her oath since her September 23rd win. The delay leaves over 800,000 Arizona constituents without full representation, and it comes amid claims that the holdup is linked to her potential role in a key vote on releasing the Jeffrey Epstein investigation files. And a January 6th defendant who was pardoned by President Trump earlier this year has been arrested again, this time for allegedly making a death threat against House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. New York State police say the man sent several threatening messages declaring that he would, quote, kill him for the future. He's now in custody as authorities investigate. Here are some podcast extra stories. Bible sales in the U.S. jumped to 2.4 million copies in September, a 36% increase from last year, following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the outspoken Christian conservative and founder of Turning Point USA. Kirk's death has sparked a wave of renewed interest in faith, with analysts noting that in times of crisis, Americans often turn to religion for comfort. What began as mourning for a polarizing figure has become a broader moment of reflection, where faith, politics, and identity are colliding in the national conversation. Police in Atlanta arrested a 49-year-old man Monday after his family warned authorities he was live streaming plans to shoot up Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Officers quickly intercepted him inside the terminal and found an AR-15 rifle with 27 rounds of ammo in his truck outside. Police credit the family's swift action with preventing a potential mass shooting. The suspect, a convicted felon, now faces charges of making terroristic threats and illegal gun possession. And Elon Musk's X is launching a new handle marketplace, allowing paying users to buy or claim inactive usernames. Premium Plus and business subscribers can request priority handles for free or pay for rare ones. Short or popular names that could cost anywhere from $2,500 to over $1 million. Users keep their new handle only while subscribed. It's X's latest bid to boost revenue, and it may ignite a bidding war for the platform's most coveted usernames. Still to come, a golf legend wins big. A Hollywood powerhouse might be up for sale, and China's accusing the U.S. of messing with its time. Literally. But first, thanks to our sponsor, Native Path Collagen. Made with only type 1 and 3 collagen, the two types that make up about 90% of the collagen in your body. It supports your skin, hair, nails, joints, and guts without unnecessary fillers. And it's a single ingredient formula, third-party tested for purity, and completely flavorless, so you can mix it into anything, your coffee, your smoothies, soups, you name it. Native Path offers amazing bundle deals, and with this special link, you can grab 3 or 6 packs at a fraction of the price of the other brands. I just want to say, mine actually just came in the mail yesterday, and I am so excited. Over 4 million jars sold, 1 million happy customers, and a 365-day no-risk guarantee. Go to getnativepathcollagen.com/flyover to get yours today, or click on the link in the show notes to purchase yours. In finance, General Motors posted stronger than expected third quarter earnings, beating Wall Street forecasts on both revenue and profit. The automaker also lowered its projected losses from new tariffs, which helped send GM stock soaring to its best single-day performance since 2020. Gold and silver prices took a steep tumble this week, their sharpest sell-off in years, as investors cashed out after a record rally in precious metals. The dip comes amid growing concern that gold and silver had become overvalued, though analysts say long-term demand for safe haven assets remains strong. And in a major shakeup for the media world, Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of HBO, CNN, and Discovery Channel, announced it's open to selling the company. Shares jumped 10% on the news as reports suggest the company has already been approached by several potential buyers, including tech and streaming giants. Here's more about how the stock market did yesterday. The Nasdaq slipped slightly, down 0.16%, while the S&P 500 held steady and the Dow Jones added nearly 0.5%. Bitcoin climbed about 0.5% to 111,000, but gold took a big hit, falling more than 4%. The standout of the day was Beyond Meat, which skyrocketed 146% after getting added to a meme stock ETF, marking the company's best single trading day ever. In sports, golf legend Jack Nicklaus just won a $50 million defamation case after reports claimed he was considering a $750 million deal to become the face of LIV Golf, a deal he confirmed was real, but said he turned it down out of loyalty to the PGA. Former Eagles defensive end Brandon Graham is coming out of retirement to rejoin Philadelphia for the rest of the season, stepping in after Zadarius Smith's surprise retirement last week. In big news for soccer fans, the U.S. will co-host the 2031 Women's World Cup with Mexico, Jamaica, and Costa Rica. FIFA President Gianni Infantino says the expanded event could bring in up to $1 billion in total revenue. In science and technology, OpenAI has officially launched a new AI-powered web browser called ChatGPT Atlas, designed to let users talk directly with an AI while browsing the internet. The browser can summarize pages, answer questions, and even help fill out forms in real time, all part of OpenAI's push to compete more directly with Google's expanding suite of AI tools. Meanwhile, China's Ministry of State Security is accusing the U.S. National Security Agency of carrying out a years-long cyber attack on its National Time Service Center, the facility responsible for maintaining official Beijing time. Chinese officials claim the NSA hacked into the system to tamper with data and compromise national infrastructure, though U.S. officials have not commented on the allegations. And a new study is warning that King Tutankhamun's 3,300-year-old tomb in Egypt's Valley of the Kings is at risk of collapsing. Researchers say cracks and fissures from a massive flood in 1994 have actually weakened the structure, trapping humidity and leading to fungal damage on the painted walls. Conservation teams are racing to stabilize the tomb and preserve its fragile artwork, one of Egypt's most famous archaeological treasures. Here are some additional headlines we wanted you to know about today. The jewels stolen in that daring Louvre heist are now estimated to be worth over $100 million, according to the Paris prosecutor's office. But here's the twist. France's government says the collection was considered priceless and wasn't insured by the state. Disney's getting ready to celebrate America's 250th anniversary with a company-wide event called Disney Celebrates America. It officially kicks off on Veterans Day, November 11th, and includes a brand new Soarin' Across America's attraction coming to Disney World and Disneyland next summer. Japan has just elected its first female prime minister, Sanae Takaichi, and she's got a fun fact that might surprise you. To relieve stress, she plays heavy metal drums and even keeps an electric drum kit in her residence for late-night jam sessions. That's pretty cool. And in California, a local engineer took home the title at the 52nd Annual World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off in Half Moon Bay after growing a giant pumpkin that tipped the scales at, ready for this, 2,346 pounds. That's more than a small car. And by the way, you can see the photos of it in the show notes below. Here are the results of yesterday's poll question. Speaking of pumpkins, have you bought any pumpkins this fall? 44% said, not a pumpkin person. 36% said, not yet. And 20% said, yes, tons. Thanks to everyone who voted. And here's the poll question for today. We were just talking about the first female Japanese prime minister, and her stress reliever was playing drums. So here's the question. What is your go-to stress reliever? Do you sweat it out? Maybe snack time, crank the tunes, walk it off, scream into the abyss, or other. And if it is something else, the comments section is always open. I will read some of your answers in tomorrow's show. But oh my gosh, I feel like depending on the level of my stress, I have done and will continue to do almost everything on that list. But mostly I just close my eyes and take a nap because usually my current stress is due to just being overtired. I still have a baby who wakes up at least once in the middle of the night, and my boys share a room, which is always so much fun at bedtime. What's your stress reliever? You can vote in the show notes below, and I'll read the answers in tomorrow's episode. In today's trivia question, where did the lunar rock amarkalite get its name? Well, if you didn't know, amarkalite is a bluish-gray mineral first discovered in the lunar soil brought back from Apollo 11's landing in the Sea of Tranquility. Its name is actually a mashup of the astronauts' last names, Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins. It's a super rare titanium mineral, and while scientists have since found tiny traces on Earth, it was the moon that gave it its name and fame. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here on a Wednesday. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. I hope that you share the show, you share it with a new friend, you leave a comment, and you come back tomorrow for a brand new episode. I'll be back delivering the headlines. And until then, thanks for flying with us.